Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, on behalf of the FITIS, let me welcome you all for those who logged into our webinar today, which is conducted under the theme Building Exponential Organization Through Digital Transformations. Today's session, the main objective of today's session is to create awareness of our newly created two flagship events, the mainly known as Digital Leaders Conclave and Digital Transformation Awards. We believe the FITIS will create a platform for FITIS members and our partners to create more business opportunities, the building other partnerships, the branding, networking opportunities, and also the knowledge enhancements, and of course, finally be a partner in digital transformation efforts within the Sri Lanka. Today's program, we will have Mr. Abbas Kamruddin, the chairman of FITIS, who will make the introductory remarks, and after which we have Dushi Tilevasam, the EXCO member of the software chapter and the CEO of the Silver Leap Technology. After that, we will have a Q&A session, and it will be joined by Fairuz Habib, Vice President of the software chapter. So we believe this will be a great opportunity for our members and the partners. And with the notes, I would like to ask Abbas to make his introductory remarks. Abbas, over to you.
Sure. Very good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome, and thank you for joining us today for, very important debriefing and kickoff. Unfortunately, we are having to do this virtually, understanding the situation that we are facing, not only in the country, but globally. But I'm sure that the debriefing will give you an idea about the two events that Aruna mentioned, the Digital Leaders Conclave as well as the Digital Transformation Awards. These two events are going to be an absolute vital element of our plans for the coming year. And these two events, I think, would possibly be two very important events towards our core mandates. So as some of you know, FITIS is the apex body and represents the ICT sector of Sri Lanka, including every element of ICT, from the hardware vendors to the system integrators to the software development houses to the communication or the telcos to the digital platforms to the office automation as well as the ICT professionals. So in line with that, we have a core mandate which basically applies to every element of ICT is to see how FITIS can lead and drive digital transformation within Sri Lanka at a much more rapid pace than what we have been going through in the last few years. So we believe that by driving digital transformation in Sri Lanka at probably 2x, 3x, 5x the speed that we have been moving, it will help not only the industry, but also the economy to really gain traction and be able to show real economic prosperity. So in line with this driving digital transformation, these two events that we are going to be talking about today are absolutely vital to ensure that we give due recognition. One, we give due recognition for those organizations within the Sri Lankan economy that have really invested into this transformation initiative and have actually reaped rewards and are delivering the kind of results that digital transformation can give you. And the Digital Leaders Conclave in its sense is actually more about ideas, suggestions, information, as well as success stories on how organizations should be taking this path and what are the key roadblocks, what are the key aspects of digital transformation that needs to be understood by organizations in order to make sure that this journey is successful. Because we are very clear, our message is very clear. Within the next 5 years, any organization that does not adopt digital is not going to is going to be very slim. The success of that organization is going to be very slim, and that message has to be carried to every single organization in Sri Lanka. And we hope that these two events actually contribute towards this important message, as well as this mandate that FITIS has in driving digital transformation, moving Sri Lanka towards a digital economy. So, in line with that, I think I would like to welcome you all. We have got from some individuals representing the media, as well as we've got certain partners who we would be looking to partner with us in these two events, as well as we've got other members of FITIS who are going to be playing a role in ensuring that the success in ensuring that the execution is very successful in terms of how we go about this. So I think without further ado, let me pass this on to Dushi to give you all really a real insight as to more insight into what exactly that we are proposing to do and what exactly is it that we would expect as an outcome. So once again, wishing you all the very best and thank you for being here. Dushi, over to you.
Hi, Abbas. Thanks a lot, and thanks, Aruna. Hi, everyone. So my task basically is to show you the importance of digital transformation in the context of today, and how the process of digital transformation will help us build organizations that are exponential. So as you all know, we are already in the fourth industrial revolution. And what's interesting, why we put this here, and what's interesting about this is that every industrial revolution has both good and bad. So while it's challenging to transform from one to another, it also gives opportunities who seize the moment to actually become to take the company or the country to the next level. So if you look back in history, all the countries that have actually rode or taken advantages of the previous industrial revolution are today either rich or almost like great powers and superpowers. So having said that, Ferris, can I go to the next slide? Having said that, if you look around us today, you can see the impact of what we call the digital disruption. You can see it happening all around you. I just put some brand names here who are quite old, who actually lost out to the digital disruption that is happening. So the digital disruption is basically a signal of or early signal of the fourth industrial revolution that is coming up, right? So that's what you're seeing, some of these old companies going bust.
Can you switch on your video, please?
You're telling me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So at the same time, on the other hand, you also are now seeing companies or startups that are valued almost at $1 billion within in less than a few years. And you also are for the first time seeing companies that are valued at about $1 trillion, right? So this is like two sides of the coin. So on one side, you are seeing companies dying because of disruption. On the other side, you are seeing organizations that are actually scaling at a very different level that we have not seen in the past, right? So what is, Ferus, can you move to the next slide? So these organizations are actually, we call them, or they are known as a new breed, right? So simply because they are scaling at a level that has never seen before. And for them, the size or the value or the revenue that they make really doesn't matter, right? These companies actually are really scaling at a level which we have never seen in the previous industrial revolution or in the past. And they are delivering exponential success to the founders and the creator of this company. So these organizations are what you call exponential organizations. So to define the process of Ferris, to the next slide, please. Okay, so what you are seeing now is we actually hear so much about this digital transformation. It actually comes with a lot of different connotations, right? But if you really look back, we have been involved with the term digital from the 1970s, from the time we had our first digital wristwatches. But if you really look at what is really digital transformation, it's actually the process of migrating companies and societies from industry 3.0 to industry 4.0. So it's actually a very large term. And when an organization actually does this migration, its backbone becomes digital. So it becomes digital becomes the organization's backbone, and these organization actually will at the end state will become successful exponential organizations. So this is the idea that we want to kind of drive in today. The idea of digital transformation is the process of migration from industry 3.0 to 4.0 and creating exponential organizations. So exponential organizations are, so to just give you a bit of flavor of how these exponential organizations work and what is contributing to them. The idea here is that if you look at what's happening in industry 4.0, is actually the physical world around us. It's actually digitized and dematerialized, and they are being information enabled. And when something anything becomes information enabled, its growth become exponential. So that's how you see these organizations being created and are growing in an exponential nature. So while saying that, you also notice that the statistics show us that 70% of the digital transformation effort around the world today fail. Some stats which I have seen puts the figure up to about 80%. But what it means is that the failure rates of existing companies, or the industry 3.0 companies transforming themselves into the new industrial revolution, is actually quite challenging. And there are like plenty of reasons. I have listed a few significant one that I thought was important. One of the primary reasons that in the digital transformation are failing is the digital literacy level at the digital literacy of the leadership of organizations. It is both at the C level as well as the board level. I saw somewhere only 20% of the current CEOs of general companies are digital literate, and that figure is kind of pretty poor. And also there is a lack of disciplined approach for transformation and execute the right transfer methods. And there is also the inability to maintain the momentum of transportation, and also the lack of commitment. And I'll probably in the next slide, I'll touch upon what I'm saying right now. So there's a difference. So ultimately, there's a difference between doing digital and being digital, right? So if you look at if you look around us today in Sri Lanka, you see a lot of companies are actually doing digital. They actually have a product that is digital. It could be a mobile application or a web front, but they actually are trying to do digital. They're actually doing digital, but none of them are in the position of becoming digital. So there's a huge difference, and this is what we are actually trying to drive at during our conclave and during the sessions that we'll have later, to educate people. Actually doing digital and being digital are two different things, and I'll actually kind of augment this idea with two examples. When organizations transformed from first to the second industrial revolution, that is basically from horse carriages to internal combustion vehicles, there's a company called John Stevenson Company, who was the most luxurious carriage manufacturer, who actually couldn't transform and who died during the early 1900s. But there were companies who actually sort of successfully transformed. If you have known about the Studebaker cars, who were the apples of those time, they successfully transformed from carriages to cars. But they actually couldn't sustain, and the company closed down in 1960 because actually they could not convert their business model and be competitive to compete with the organizations who were born into the second and third industrial revolutions, right? So this is a very significant fact that we need to consider. Digital transformation, or becoming digital, is actually a very challenging process, which actually needs to be thought through and be carefully done. If not, we will be seeing more failures in the coming years and months, right? Can we go? And if you look at the context in Sri Lanka at present, so we have a 57% of our GDP coming from services, but we have a very few digitally matured organizations or very few born digital organizations. We have very few companies in Sri Lanka who are present globally. We also know that there is a push, as Abbas said earlier, there's a major push towards digitizing the economy, and so on. So what this actually means is this digital transformation gives a major opportunity for Sri Lankan companies to become really global and regional. And as you would notice earlier, the size of the company doesn't matter, and they really can be global players. This also is evident from the recent COVID vaccination BioNTech, who a company only 12 years old who actually came out of the vaccine. So this is something that you would be familiar with. So the option of digital transformation will allow Sri Lankan companies to be really global and regional players, which will contribute to our economy immensely. So the idea of, I will actually hand over from here to Feroz, who will actually talk more about the Conclave and the Transformation Awards. What we actually want to do, we are trying to do is to educate, in this process, educate the organizations about what is real digital transformation, and to kind of, how do I say, enable FITIS members to contribute towards transforming other organizations digitally, as well as we want to reward the companies who successfully transform. So this is the idea. Feroz, it's all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dushi, for the introduction and good introduction about the exponential organization and how the organization should be planning the exponential growth. We are not going to take much of time. We have say, just very few slides to brief about the Digital Leaders Conclave and the Digital Transformation Award. As I can see, still some people are still joining because usually we join half an hour, 15, 20 minutes later, but we are almost towards the end of the session. Let me give a brief about what is Digital Leaders Conclave and the main objective of the Digital Leaders Conclave and the Digital Transformation Award. The FITIS Digital Transformation Conference and Awards Remedy. This is the first time that we are trying to host this as a conference and the Transformation Awards in one day, where we usually have the CXO forum. This is the kind of fourth CXO forum which has been converted to digital leaders conclave, where we are going to enable the organization the ability to adopt the culture of exponential growth across the business, and innovative solution that they drive the modernization. And also it is an opportunity for the vendors especially to showcase their digital services solutions that have contributed in the significant transformation of business and supporting the country's vision of building the knowledge-based economy, right? So this year, the Digital Leaders Conclave, we are with the theme of the migration of enterprises from Industry 3.0 to 4.0, where we are expecting to bring down 700 plus delegates than the business professionals, which is locally and internationally. As you aware, with the current pandemic, having large gatherings going to be kind of challenge. But however, we will try our level best to do it as a physical event, but definitely the virtual options are given. Therefore, it's an opportunity for the participants from the overseas as well. We have collaboration with various industry bodies in the Asia Pacific region. So there is opportunity for the collaboration with the entire regions. One of the main objective of this digital leaders conclave basically to assisting the enterprise to migrate from third industrial to fourth industrial revolution through the digital transformation, where they can lead towards the early for exponential growth. During this conference, we will be the business leaders in their respective domains. They're going to share the case studies, the challenges, issues, when the success stories, and a whole lot more to be shared during this digital leaders conclave. And also one of the main aspect of now we are talking about digital, but we are doing digital, but we are not being digital. Now, how we can be you know that being digital organization, how they should be transformed. So that impact that we are trying to bring in the real punch into this session, where everybody should be able to understand how we become a being digital organization. And this also give an opportunity for the vendors as well as the business leaders and decision makers to network with the respective vendors and the expertise to discuss about broadly in the digitalization concept. Some of the themes that we have come across based on the exponential organization and the exponential growth towards digital transformation, where are some of the themes that we have a plan to do it as the keynote speak, and also there will be a couple of main speaker presentation slots, as well as we will be having a separate sessions for for the respective audience, like the C levels and the technical people, and likewise we used to do that the separate sessions in a larger conference. So we will be executing in the similar fashion. These are some of the themes which has been proposed. However, you as a vendor and also the industry expert, feel free to give your inputs, because this is the reason why we have organized this awareness session. Because most of the time, once we ready to launch, I mean that just within last 2-3 weeks only the hype happens and suddenly people get to know, and by the time if any recommendation we won't be able to accommodate it. We are here launching kind of pre-launch which happens 3-4 months before. We are planning to do it in end of March if situation is good. Otherwise there will be slight chances in case if there any issue that due to pandemic that we can slightly adjust it. But the worst case that we have a strong plan to execute it, at least the digital conclave into the virtual platform and the transformation awards maybe we can look at, but this will be a definite event which is going to happen. This is why we are doing this launch. One of the other main strength of conducting such events with FITIS, where we have a success stories, we have proved in the past successful events like API Asia, CXO forums, we were able to bring down the industry leading organizations and the industry leading experts and the C-suits. So if you see, even this time also, we have reached up to almost every industry segment, where we are hoping to bring in 250 companies, the key organizations with prominent participants. If you look at that in our previous history, and also we want to repeat, even do it much better, where we were focusing on bringing in at least 35 to 40% of the C-suites, which out of 35 to 40%, where minimum 25% should be C-level and 35% of the VP and above and the directors, and rest of the 63%, approximately 60%, which again the majority of them, 70% of them are like 10 years or more than experience resources in their respective domain. So it's not something that we expect to bring in just the audience, but these audience are really solid decision makers who could actually drive the transformation within the organization. I hope this will give you that perspective. And the industry segment, which covers the financial, banking and financial, telecommunication, healthcare, and almost every industry segment, travel and tourism, legal, agriculture. So there will be focus, but it all depends on the interest in the proposed by the other vendors. We are free to prioritize certain industry segments. Then the other important part, which is the digital transformation award, which is the format is going to be in the morning hours. There will be the digital leaders conclave, and the evening session would be the digital transformation awards. Where in the digital transformation award, where it celebrates and recognize the business enterprises who have adopted digital technologies and have transformed themselves. This award gives an opportunity for private and public sector to showcase their digital transformation achievements and supporting the country's vision to build a knowledge-based economy. And also, this doesn't happen without realignment or the new investment in technology, or bringing a new business model or new business processes to drive the exponential growth is vital to compete in the highly connected global economy. On this digital transformation award, where we are planning to collect the entries, and the entries will be evaluated based on the businesses and community impact by an eminent panel of juries members who have been pioneered in their respective fields, locally and internationally. This award would be the catalyst in inspiring others to digitally transform themselves to achieve the exponential growth and contribute towards the growth of the country. So that's about the introduction about Digital Transformation Award and Digital Leaders Conclave. So it's time for question and answers. Chris, can you make others also to speak, so that if there are any questions that we can take that question. I have Prasad Hettiarachi, the software chapter president, with me, as well as our team with me to answer any questions. Please feel free to raise your questions now. Any questions, please?
Hi, Virus. It's Tikshan.
Hi. Hi, Tikshan.
Virus, basically, are there any categories?
Yes, in fact, we have
Have you defined categories? Yeah.
Yes, we have defined, but we thought this is the pre-launch. We are not we are planning to do a detailed session within the couple of weeks time, where we will be announcing the categories and the format that the application should be submitted. So since this is the introduction session, so we will be doing a detailed session on that, as well as we will publish those documents on website as well as in the social medias and all that. We will be keeping you all update on that. But this is especially on the industry specific, as well as certain technology also will be assessed.
Feroz, this is Kishore from BMC. Not a question, but I would like to congratulate you for this initiative. I mean, it is a very well thought initiative.
Thank you.
So did not have a question as such, but it's a very well net presentation as well, and a very long-term outcomes should be expected out of this initiative. So
Thank you.
congratulations.
That's one of our key mandate of FITIS, the Federation of IT Industry for Sri Lanka, which is the apex body of ICT industry, and that's one of our mandate to drive the digital transformation. Now that we have added a few more responsibility into our bucket, the soldier, which is the building exponential organization, as well as creation of helping the organization to create and promote the intellectual property, which is again the team is working on that. So there will be a lot of initiatives expected in coming years. Thank you for your feedback. Any suggestions, any inputs? Because here this is not the kind of presentation or lectures. This is a discussion forum. This is why we have enabled everyone to speak. Please be part of this journey. This is the request that we want to make it, because most of the time when we launch, when we do the event, at that time only a lot of people, even the industry leaders, used to come forward and give some feedbacks, and they say, okay, we didn't know about this, such a wonderful thing and all that. So why not you involve and contribute, and you can be part of the organizing committee. Who, if you have a very good idea, please forward it to us. We are willing to take those inputs.
Feroz, can I add something?
Sure.
So this is, guys, this is Dushi again. So digital transformation, just to give another flavor, because we have a lot of Sri Lankan companies who actually are contributing or providing digital transformation services in terms of technology. So here we didn't talk a lot about technology, because we perceive digital transformation is not only technology, but rather it's a multifaceted approach. So one of the things that we will be looking at during our digital transformation or the leaders conclave is that to allow companies who are providing exponential technologies for the transformation to come and present. So this could involve things like you go from AI to data science to special function technologies and biotech, whatnot. So all these exponential technology providers, this would be a good platform for you to come and present what to existing organizations to transform themselves. So just to add that.
So anyway, we supposed to have this call for about 35 to 40 minutes. So I think we are covered, and please feel free to write to us. There's the contact details given there, and would love you all to be part of it, because this cannot be done by individual or even few organizations. We are talking about entire industry transformation. Even recently, we were engaging with some government authorities where they are highly concerned about IT industry growth, especially in the during this pandemic. The only industry who could show the exponential growth, which is IT industry, whereas still we don't have a game-changing plan to go for that exponential growth. So this is where we are inviting all the industry experts and the leaders and come and join with us and put your ideas together, and let's build some system around us where which could push the industry to transform, where there are all these, so most of the people are software vendors out here and the software hardware vendors out here. So it's an opportunity for all. It's not just limited to one or two organization. It's an opportunity for all. It's all up to you to grab this opportunity, take part of it, drive certain things, and take the benefit out of it. So if there's no questions, shall we wind up the session? And we will be sending you the feedback form. So please fill that and put your recommendation there. I know that we Sri Lankans, we have a tendency to, that not to talk during the sessions, but we are good in writing. So I hope that you all can contribute through writing, and we should be able to take some of the discussions forward. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your valuable time and having due respect to join this session and listen to us. And I hope that we can have a good year next year. Thank you very much.